Hey guys, welcome back to Dislyte. In today's video, we're going to go through the patch notes. We're not actually going to go through and read them all. I always find that tedious. I've read them. I've got my little notes here. You can see the notes, and then we'll go through and we'll go a bit deeper into the key things that I wanted to look at. So obviously in my notes here, we got the three new units, which one of them is going to be free, which was my favorite looking one, so that is hype. We've got the Desolate Lands. We'll cover that a little bit more from the patch notes. We've got the relic boost system coming in, the new events coming, Zora raid up banner, which does look like it's going to be a 450 hard pity this time. The Esper community, which is sort of like, you know, collect Espers and you get stuff. Club enemies slowed, which is cube enemies slowed, which is really nice. Going to make it much easier to farm those higher stages. Campaign is getting easier. Good relics drops are getting buffed. We'll talk about that. And it looks like they're doing some prep to get RTA into the game. My guess is that RTA will be the next update or the update after, but we'll talk about that. So let's scroll through here and have a look. Now, we have the three new characters. I'm not going to go through their skills. I'll go through them when they actually drop on the test server. Zora is basically an AoE focused unit where the basic attack can AoE. The second attack can proc the first attack. And then the third attack is going to be another AoE. That's the basic. So my guess is in the Desolate Lands, one of the bosses is going to need you to do a lot of AoE, and Zora is going to be the answer to that. That would be my guess. I could be wrong. Then we have Xiao Yin. Now this guy he's the first character that's going to bring stealth into the game. So you go into stealth mode. You can't be targeted with attacks, but you can be hit with AoE. You deal extra damage coming out of stealth. So that's what his basic kit is built around. And then we have Aurelius. I'd probably butcher that name again, but he is going to be like a freeze breaker. So he's going to deal extra damage to frozen enemies and break the freeze on them. So he's going to be an interesting one to test out with, you know, some freeze comps. I think he might be really nice in guild battles and stuff like that. We'll have to wait and see. But once again, I'll go through their skills more in depth. You guys can read that stuff. I'll go through it more in depth when we actually have them. We can look at cooldowns. We can look at all that sort of stuff. So that becomes important when looking at abilities. So I didn't want to waste a bunch of time reading through those. So they added the Desolate Lands. Now, Shadow Gale, Shadow Stream, and Shadow Fire are solo challenges. This is what I said when I saw the video. I figured they were going to do pretty much the same as what Summoner's War does, where those three will be single player ones, and then the main boss, the mother, I think it was, something Shadow Mother, I can't remember her name, but that one will be well, I'm not saying it will, my guess is that it will be the co-op boss. It doesn't look like that's getting implemented yet, unless they're just leaving it out of here. So it looks like we're getting the solo bosses first, play around with them, and then hopefully after that, we will get that. But I'll cover these guys once they drop in anyway. The relic boost system, we've touched on that before. From the Desolate Land, you'll get items which can increase the substats of a relic. This was more clarity on this bit. When boosting a relic's secondary attribute, the attribute cannot be stacked and will only be replaced if the new value is higher. So if you roll a 5 speed bonus onto one of your relics, but you're like, oh, I wanted that 9 speed, you can go again. And if you get a 9, you'll keep the 9. However, if you rolled like a 7 on your first one and the second one rolls a 5, it will retain the 7, so you don't actually lose out, at least. The Bloody Hunt, so that's a new event. I'm not going to read through all this event stuff. It's easier just to cover the event when the event is in the game. We got Zora, the Chance Up event. So this one, here we go. So you got the 10%. If you haven't obtained, so last time I got it wrong when I covered the patch notes, it wasn't a hard pity, but this looks like a hard pity. If you haven't obtained the specific Esper after 449 summons, the 450th summon is guaranteed to produce the specific legendary Esper. Once the Esper is obtained, the guaranteed 120 speed spin is reset. But it looks like on the 450th pull, you are guaranteed to get that Esper. So they've gone to a much more generous hard pity, because the last one, I thought it was hard pity, but it was actually at the 450th. You've got a 100% chance of obtaining them on your next legendary, so it could take you up to 570. But this one, 450 hard pity, you know, step in the right direction. I was looking forward to see what they did there. It's definitely a step in the right direction. What else did we have here on the stuff? Added tactics, the Esper community. So this is just something where you basically collect Espers. It's just one of those like you know, if after you've collected these 3, you get some gems or something like that. So nice little bonuses. We'll make sure we go in and check that when the update happens to see how much free stuff that we can get. Added some side stories, disturbances. This one I wasn't too sure about. Temporal disturbances will occur on floor 50 of the temporal tower, generating new mechanism related terms. I'm not too sure exactly what that actually means. My bad. Enlighten me in the comments. What was the next one? Gallery optimizations, relic enhancements, screen optimizations. Nothing too crazy that I want to like spend too much time on. Course optimizations, quest optimizations is sounding weird to me. So story, some story chapter stages in easy, hard, and purgatory modes have become easier. So I haven't actually even finished purgatory. Like I haven't looked at it since like my first week of playing. So after this, I'll just walk in and do it. I don't know why I haven't completed it. There's some nice rewards in there. But yes, if you've been stuck in campaign or something, make sure you check it after this update because it might get a bit easier. Now this is a big one. Cube Miracle reduced the speed of certain enemies for the higher levels of the Cube Miracle. So this is nice because it depends. I hope they're slowing the fast enemies because I'm like, I think like 8 speed or so away from outspeeding everything on 8. I believe it was. I can't remember. I haven't looked at 8 in a while. I just farmed 7 because I can outspeed. So if I can definitely jump in here because if your strategy is just to outspeed, which is just mine, it means it's going to be easier to do the higher levels depending on where your speed is at, provided they do reduce the speed of the correct enemies. So we'll have to see how that goes. I'm hoping it's just going to be easier to farm the higher stages. I just can't be bothered doing the time investment to farm stage 8, so I just sit on 7. Okay, this is a big one. Adjustments to the ritual and sonic miracle. Okay, this is the one I wanted to look at. Drop rates on high floors. Chronos, the astral witchcraft, which is the one that, you know, when an ally is stunned, it boosts their speed by 50%. That set's drop rate has been lowered, while the Windwalker set's drop rate has been raised, which is really good because obviously we all want the Windwalker set. We want to get fast as possible. That is nice. Obviously they don't show us percentages, but the fact that it's increased is nice. APEP, the abiding set, which is like the healing increase set, has been lowered, while the Ocean Waves, which is the cooldown reduction, has been raised. Fafnir, Snow Dagger set. I think that's the one where is Snow Dagger the one where when you're attacked, it has a chance to freeze them. I think that's the one. And then Hammer of Thor has been increased. So get that crit damage. So that is nice. The probability of getting main attributes, speed, crit rate, and crit damage for relics has been greatly increased. Now, this is something I've heard. I don't know if it's true, and I haven't seen evidence that, like, you know, even on substats, your chance of rolling speed, crit rate, and crit damage on a substat, like when you're upgrading, is lower than other substats. So it's really hard to upgrade them. I've heard that. I don't know if it's true, but the fact that they're increasing the main stat drops for these, that is fantastic. Instead of increasing speed, crit rate, and crit damage, I'd love to see them just reduce all flat stats, like I don't know why flat stats even exist as a main stat, like on the ones that can have multiple options. It's just something to frustrate you and keep you coming back, I guess. But this is definitely a good buff. Speed, crit rate, crit damage. Honestly, to be fair, the main attribute crit rate is not a good change. That's actually, I mean, let's face it. So my thing with this is, so speed, obviously you want a lot of. Obviously on that slot, sometimes you want attack percent, sometimes you want defense percent, sometimes you want HP percent. But a lot of the time, speed is optimal, and that's what we kind of aim for. Crit damage on the circle slot is definitely the one we always want. For damage dealers, obviously sometimes you want defense percent or HP percent, but you know, crit damage is really nice. Crit rate, getting an increase on that slot sucks in my opinion, because that actually, like, you know, now it's gonna be harder to get the HP percent and defense percent due to crit percent being increased. I know it's a very small nitpick, but yeah, like, no one gears with crit rate on that slot. If this was substats, we would definitely want speed, crit rate, and crit damage increased, but you know, it's a step in the right direction. I like this. Speed and crit damage. Give me more of those, please, because it's frustrating. All right. Adjustments to the Esper arena. So in my last point, I said RTA prep. this is what makes me think. After both sides lock their formations, each side can ban one enemy Esper. Two sides will each use 4 Espers in battle. So this makes me think that they're getting ready to release RTA, because the Esper arena is like where you battle friends. Now they're getting the pick and ban system happening. So, and the fact that they're dropping it down to four units in this makes me excited, because then we'll have PvP, and this is just my assumption that they're getting ready for a full RTA, like ladder RTA release. Because this is really cool, because now we have 3 unit PvP with the guild battles. We have 5 unit PvP with the standard arena, and then we'd have 4 player PvP with the real-time arena, which gives you like a different sort of meta on all of them. So I absolutely love that. Keen to see if I'm right, and in the next 2 updates we do get RTA. That's what I'm really hoping to happen. And then the rest of this stuff, you know, I'm not going to spend too much time on. So that is my main notes from the update. What do we cap it off in? About 10 minutes. Not too bad. I'm happy with that pacing of getting through the updates, because when you read it all, it's slow as hell. But anyway, guys, looking forward to the update. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.